2. If you're hearing this, you'll be hearing it. I'll get up there in a minute. Coach's mic, 1, 2. Happy on the platform. Everybody, test 1, 2. Excellent.
Room in Minnesota, just faxing out the mic. Okay, testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, awesome. Would you mind talking into the question mics?
Hey guys, just a reminder for everyone with locker room access, we're going to open up the locker room right when coach starts.
It's the very same. It's the very same feed, so if they're getting that one, they're getting this one.
Do you hear
Testing
that?
1,
Okay.
2.
Okay, great.
Thank
you
you.
so much. I'm going to go check the visitors now. I'll call you right back. The ESPN camera is not up. Okay, I will wait here. I'll call you back once it gets in. We're just waiting on you.
Good.
Yeah, go ahead.
Chris, offensively, it seemed like just not nearly as much movement
Yeah.
to create any mismatches or anything like that. What caused that?
I mean, excuse me. Yeah, just sluggish, slow. Pace up and down the floor wasn't where we needed it to be, where it has been all postseason. Decision making wasn't there. Just general movement, activity wasn't there. That's. I thought then we, tried to shoot our way after one pass, like when the game was still there for us to be had. We didn't want to work very hard for our offense, and we got a little bit lazy and we missed those shots. We did miss a lot of layups early. Generally when you're doing that, you're not playing in the right mindset. So not a lot of good things on either end of the floor, really.
That teams aren't going to play their best every single playoff game, but did tonight catch you off guard at all?
I mean, a little bit. I thought we'd be better. But we talked all season about being a mature team. Mature teams have to handle success. 3 days between games, how do you prepare back home? Lots of distractions, need to lock in. Thought we had a couple good days of practice, but, apparently we weren't able to transfer it to the floor.
Had to play from behind far more than you have in the playoffs,
Yeah.
too. Is that another thing that, maturity kind of has to play into and kind of learning how to do that in high-stress environments?
Yeah, I think so, for sure. This is a team that you don't want to be behind on, particularly by the margin we were at, because they execute so well and they got a lot of really tough shot makers. So,
Chris, defensively, how much did you feel like just the struggles maybe on offense translated and carried over?
Yeah, I think some, for sure, some of that. But to be honest, we didn't start the game with the same real teeth and intensity defensively that we had been doing. A lot of separation. We were trailing every play. I think they got their hand on almost every shot they missed for a while, whether we rebounded or they rebounded. They still were in the mix too much. A couple ticky-tack fouls early. I don't know if that softened us up, but losing Jaden early certainly hurt our ability to guard them a little bit more, aggressively on the perimeter. I thought they were some unfortunate calls, but it is what it is. So
It seemed like they really looked at the film in game two, and especially in the half-court offense, had, plays designed to move the ball, move without the ball.
yeah, I think they
And especially
exaggerated.
on Nas and slow-mo, it seemed.
Yeah, I mean, they exaggerated their spacing a little bit. They had other guys bring it up to alleviate pressure. Did the things that we expected them to do, to be quite honest. But we were just too far off everything. Point of attack defense was not where it needed to be, and that's where it starts and ends for us. So.
Jokic seemed to get off the ball a lot quicker to begin the game, and then, got back into his usual pattern of, kind of waiting and dissecting.
Yeah, I think. I'm pretty sure that the goal for them was to get Murray going. That's how important he is for them. And he came out hot, so a lot of things were him trying, and he, created a lot of his own offense, which he does. But we weren't able to affect those shots enough.
Chris, over here, do you need to not only put more pressure on Murray on the offensive end, but also maybe attack him a little more defensively, make him work a little more?
Yeah, for sure. I thought we did in spurts, but offensively we weren't good anywhere. So Cat was good early, but that was really about it. We were trying to get to the hoop a little bit, but probably not as much as we needed to. So.
Chris, there's an obvious question mark going between games 2 and 3
Yeah.
as to what the league was going to do with Murray.
Yeah.
Was there any organizational response in the days leading up to this in being disappointed in the league's decision?
I wasn't disappointed in the league's decision, but not because necessarily I agreed with it, but it's just simply I never, ever, ever expected them to suspend him. I thought that they would throw a heavy fine. I just there hasn't really been much precedent for suspending people, certainly in the playoffs, unless it's a repeat offense. But whether it is or it isn't a suspendable thing, it doesn't matter now, really. But to me, I'm not saying it was the right thing. I just never expected the league to suspend him, so I wasn't disappointed when the decision was made. So.
You guys are a relatively new and young group.
Yeah.
When you guys have had adversity in your short history together, who are the kind of leaders that you look to in the locker room to get everybody up?
Yeah, I mean, we have great leadership. Mike for sure starts there. Kyle, Rudy, those guys have been through it. We've done a great job of bouncing back all year from tough losses. So that's what it comes down to now. I'm sure we'll bounce back. So, thank you guys.
Mike was just Mike came in very fast, but he just walked out when we were walking out. So
You guys come. TNT is where I right. ESPN is or TNT is on. Right. So I'll be first position on the other side.
Where Michael was in the single spot.
Yeah.
In front of the.
That's where TNT is going to go. Okay.
Here's the deal. Some of the directives don't cross over. Just trying to wonder, do they cross over?
I don't know. The ones I was watching on TV, TNT was Cameron.
Yeah, they because some directives.
Yeah.
Some don't. Because I actually like to shoot in the single spot. So I get it. That's why so they do say something.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah.
Like they're doing.
They are. You got a long ass email.
Mike, it seemed like just a lot less intensity and energy to start this one. Like, what do you think was missing tonight that you guys had so well in the first two games?
We were just flat for whatever reason. I think we were excited. We were overly excited to play. I hadn't been home in 2 weeks and wanted to get out there, and just one of those games. They came out. They were going to be. We knew they were going to be the desperate team, and they played like it. All their players got into a great rhythm early. We got into some foul trouble with guys and made it tough on us and tough on our rotations. And they applied a lot of pressure on us in the offensive end, and we were not helping ourselves out. You know, at the rim, we weren't finishing things. We weren't knocking down shots like we normally do, which allowed them to kind of build up their runs a little bit. But you know, energy-wise, I think we'll be much better on Sunday. But a lot of game plan mistakes tonight too.
Was the game plan mistake? Do you see was the lack of focus or attention to detail, or what do you think kind of led to some of that?
Man, I think it was a lot of different things, but it was, we were like a step slow. A little bit of confusion here and there on a couple, traps, if we should trap, if we shouldn't, if we should rotate or not. And they do a good job of getting that ball to Jokic in the mid post area and then, in the short roll area. And like I said, he puts a lot of stress on you when you don't know whether you should go help or get back out to shooters. And they did that a lot tonight and kind of put us in a tough spot.
Opposing offensive numbers can always look, healthier when your team struggles protecting the ball. Where did you see the kind of turnover battle hurting you guys today? And what's an adjustment you can make to make that better for Game 4?
We just got to be smarter. Smarter with our decisions, more decisive with what we're doing. And we got to work a little bit harder on that offensive end to create space for each other. I thought we were, with our lack of, movement and energy, towards the offensive side, we weren't cutting like we were. We weren't applying pressure to the paint like we were in the first two games. When we do that for each other, it makes the lanes a lot easier. It makes the reads a lot easier. So if we can do that as a whole, I think, turnovers will cut down and we'll get a lot easier looks.
Yeah, Mike, it seemed like in games 1 and 2, you guys forced a lot of switches and mismatches just with kind of random perimeter movements and relocations. Is that stuff schemed in, or did it just not naturally occur tonight?
Yeah, it was part of our game plan was just to play faster, play more, open, free, and you're not really like hunting a matchup per se. You're just trying to move the ball, trying to get guys, going from side to side, and then get into pick and rolls, get into driving kicks, and like I said, all that stuff is what we've been working on all playoffs. And tonight, for whatever reason, we didn't have the same thrust to what we do. Didn't have the same spacing like we needed. So guys were driving into crowded areas and having to make tough decisions.
Mike, not trying to get you fined or anything, but with how the game was officiated tonight, does that change how the defensive intensity is going to be from you guys moving forward?
Honestly, it's game to game, and we have to do a better job of understanding how the game's going to be called for that particular night. The last game, it was physical. We can be physical. That favors us. Tonight, guys weren't allowed to be as physical as we were, last game. So we have to adjust our play for that, and that's what good teams do. And we don't blame the refs and think that was the reason why we lost this game. We know better than that, but we put it on us, and at the end of the day, I think we'll be better from it.
Mike Ant just said in the locker room that he felt like he didn't have that energy going at the beginning of the game. He's mentioned that after a couple losses during the regular season. When you're out there as the point guard, kind of feeling that vibe from him, what are you trying to do to get him going?
Trying to make it easy on him. You know, he doesn't need to handle the ball every time. He doesn't need to have to initiate every time. And to ease some of that stress, we got to like be aggressive on our end. Like our guards need to now try to look to score, look to make plays, and try to get other guys involved as well without him having to do everything like he had been the first 2 games. And basically all playoffs, he's been giving us a lot on both ends of the floor. So, you know, I could see that he was a little bit gassed, but you know, I think that you know, as we go forward, we just have to find better ways to allow him to rest here and there and reserve his energy so he can have you know, more of an impact like he wants to have.
Jamal Murray obviously played better tonight. Did you feel like you guys enabled him to play better, or did he just make tough shots?
Jamal's Jamal. You know, at the end of the day, he's not going to go 3 for 18 every game. Even in Denver, he missed some just wide open shots. You know, that doesn't happen very often. And tonight he made those same shots, and we didn't help ourselves by, you know, giving him easier shots than the games before. He was getting in the paint, he was getting in the lane, getting layups, getting dunks, you know, getting to his mid-range and getting comfortable. And he's a tough cover when that happens. And, you know, we got to be better at that, you know, coming into the next game. And I'm sure we'll watch some film and try to figure out how to, you know, better adjust to what he was doing tonight.
Mike, you being one of the leaders on this team, you've been through some playoff battles. What are you saying to your fellas going into Game 4 to kind of bounce back confidence-wise, just to let them know there's going to be a series?
Honestly, nothing different than I said the last 2 games. We knew this was going to be a series regardless. Even when we were up 2-0, you know, we're not thinking that this is going to be over by any means. This is one of the best teams we'll ever play against. And, you know, coming into, you know, Game 4, it's all about how we adjust and, you know, to this adversity. You know, it's our first real test of adversity during the playoffs. We haven't taken a loss and haven't taken a loss at home. So our guys are confident. Our guys will be ready. You know, Ant's going to be ready. Cat's going to be ready. Like we're going to learn from this and move forward and be ready for Sunday.
Mike, kind of to go off of that a little bit, you guys did a really good job all year of not letting like one loss turn into 2. Losses really snowball. What do you draw from that in the regular season that you can apply to now after suffering your first loss of this postseason?
You know, we've been good all year at, you know, when we take an L, we learn from it, we adjust really quick. You know, I think our guys take it personal and get angry and somehow flip a switch and say it's not going to happen again kind of attitude, and that's what we need to have. You know, we got to continue to be the urgent, desperate team that we've played like all year. Just because we've won a couple games in a row does not mean we have any room to relax or be comfortable, and our guys know that, and maybe a loss here and there will help even that out and get us back to, you know, that back against the wall mentality and not all the praise and things that have happened over the last 3 days that we're not accustomed to. So it's just a couple days now to lock in and get ready for Sunday.
Mike, you guys had a few minutes at the end of the game kind of on the bench with the starters. Do you guys start talking about Sunday at that point, or you kind of just keep it silent, you know, and focus on the rest of the game until the buzzer hits?
We're talking about adjustments, you know, things that they did differently, things that we did or we didn't do tonight, and a couple plays here and there that we might need to exploit a little bit more, a couple actions that we might need to use, a couple players we need to put into actions more, stuff like that. You know, when you're watching the game from the bench and trying to, you know, dissect it all and grasp it all, is you know, kind of all that's kind of going through your head at that time.
Mike, back to Ant quick. He did kind of put this loss on himself. Knowing him coming off of a night like this, like, what is the confidence level like that he returns to form on Sunday?
Man, he's going to be fine. I mean, he's as confident as anybody you meet, and he takes every loss personal. You know, whether he played good or bad tonight, I don't know, but he's going to take it personal and be ready to go Sunday. Our team will be, and this is a series, and we're going to have to fight for this one.
Karl, looked like a lot different team in Game 3 versus the first two. What do you attribute the stark difference in the outcome and maybe the difference in energy that you guys had tonight?
I said it before the game, for us to beat a team like the Denver Nuggets, defending champions, you're going to have to play better in Game 3 than you did Game 1 and Game 2. So we just didn't do that tonight. And, we got to be better. We got to be better next game for sure.
What made it difficult to get going offensively for the group? Did you like the shots that you get and they just didn't fall, or how did you assess it?
We missed some shots. We missed some good looks. I think our offense hurt our defense a little bit, but they're a great team. I mean, I think everyone in this room could agree. So, like I said, you got to play better. I know we showed a really good version of ourselves in Game 2, but we had to be even a better version in Game 3 if we expected to beat a team like this and to get up 3-0. So, a little adversity is good for us.
Kat, Mike alluded to the whistle being different, but that's something that you guys had.
No, we don't worry about no whistles. It's the playoffs.
Yeah,
it's the playoffs.
That said, in the third quarter, after you guys, I think it was 15 coming out of the half, and they had a run where they had several wing threes that seemed to be, somewhat would open. What were the parts of the defense in the third quarter that you thought weren't executed up to your guys' ability?
They got some, going to the basket, kickouts to people. Usually we're really good at rotating and closing out on these, offensive players. Thought they got some clean shots that obviously in Game 2 they didn't get. Other than that, too, you got to give them credit, too. Jamal Murray hit some tough shots. Michael Porter Jr. and them, they did a great job of making some transition fast break threes. That's something that we've done a great job as well as guarding. So I haven't watched the tape, but I could tell you from what I saw being on the court, they did some things that we've done a great job of containing and limiting the first two games, and they got themselves a chance to shoot those shots today, and they made them. So, I mean, testament to them. They're defending champions for a reason.
Karl, when you have the energy and urgency that you had in games 1 and 2, and you don't have in Game 3, where does that come from? Does it happen in preparation leading up to a game? Do you find out if you have it in the first few minutes of a game? Kind of how do you know if you have the requisite urgency or energy on a given night?
I mean, it shouldn't have to be something that you got to recognize. It should be something that we walk in every single day with a certain standard. I mean, first quarter alone, I'm not sure, please help me, but I felt that we've won both first quarters in Game 1 and Game 2, I believe, right? So we lose the first quarter by 8 points. It set the standard already that, we were not coming with the energy needed, and they scored 28 points. So we just got to do a better job, being us, who our identity is. We're a very top-notch defensive team, and we showed that last game. We just didn't show that tonight, and we have to go back to the gym, work on ourselves, and be ready for Game 4 to show a better version of ourselves.
Kat, why is a little adversity good for you guys?
It's good. I haven't seen the team go 16-0 yet in the playoffs, and we've been doing a great job of finding ways to win, especially in Phoenix and here. And you're playing the defending champions. I think it humbles us this game a little bit. Shows that you can't just expect the same results because we've had those results that we've been wanting and looking for the first 6 games in the playoffs. So it's a great humbling experience, I think, for our team to understand that this is not easy. Just because we've been fortunate to find ourselves on the winning end for 6 straight playoff games don't mean that the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th is going to be the same result. I think this is a great humbling experience for us, and the defending champions definitely gave us that experience. So it's going to make us hungrier. I think it's going to make us a better team. It's going to show how connected we are, and it's good for us. It's good for us, for sure.
Karl, a big part of how you guys guard Denver is about how you and Rudy match up with Jokic and Gordon. It seemed like they wanted to have Gordon initiate a little bit more, play him in some different spots on the floor in this game. How did you see that to be different, and what do you have to adjust to in that front court matchup if they're playing it a little different?
I mean, shout out to Eric Gordon. He's hit some shots these last 2 games, even last game. So, they're doing a great job. I mean, they got a great coach over there, and they got a really good team. I've said it multiple times. So we just got to get to the drawing board, and we got to be a better version of ourselves, especially defensively. So, there was no chance they were not obviously going to make adjustments, and they did a good job with their adjustments. So now, it's our turn to play chess.
Kat, what do you anticipate it feeling like playing on Mother's Day?
There's going to be a lot of emotions, especially for people like me and Ant. So definitely a game that will mean a lot to us, and we would love to give our mothers who have the best seats in the house here at Target Center some of our best performances. So we'll be looking to do that.
Karl, his first game home in a couple of weeks. The arena was rocking, deepest the franchise has been in the playoffs in a while. I know the outcome wasn't what you guys wanted, but what was the vibe like in the locker room, back in the home locker room for the first time in a while? Can you kind of take us into that scene before the game?
It wasn't any different for us. We've been have the same mentality, and we just wanted to come in with discipline in our mind and try to execute our game plan at the highest level. This team is special just because of our connectivity and I think our unity, and it didn't feel any different, but I also, we didn't show that feeling on the court as well. So just got to get back to the drawing board and do a little better.
Karl, I think this was the first game of the postseason where you guys have had to fight uphill for the game. But how would you like to see things change? If you get in a position like that again, what needs to change in order for you guys to be able to get back in the game quicker?
Play defense, make shots. Pretty simple.
Simple stuff.
Yeah, simple stuff. I think that we had chances to, regain our composure and reestablish our identity. And on one hand, we didn't do that. And on the other hand, they did a great job at defending champions of staying disciplined and not allowing us. So, like I said multiple times, we just got to be a better version of ourselves. I think we didn't show the version that we've been able to show the NBA world these last 6 games. We didn't show that tonight. I haven't seen anyone win 16 straight in the playoffs, so odds weren't on our side to do that. So a little adversity would be good for us to teach us a moment. Yep.